Today I want to review the almost brand new Creatorpreneur course by Abdaal. It's basically a business course for creators. It costs $800 and I have a lot to say about it. Hey and welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna and I'm a German mechanical engineer based in Sweden. I run this YouTube channel next to my engineering job, and to level this up a bit, I recently took the Creatorpreneur course by Abdaal. And today I want to share my thoughts on it. So in this review I'm going to cover why I decided to buy this course, how the course works, what I did and didn't like about the course, and finally if I think the course is worth it. So let's start with why I decided to take this course. This is actually not the first course I took by Abdaal. I have taken the part-time YouTuber Academy before, which I've also made a review about, and that was the single best decision I've ever made for my YouTube channel. So the part-time YouTuber Academy is a cohort-based course where you have live lectures and you learn all of the basics of making YouTube videos. I took that course last November when I had 6 subscribers. By the end of it I had 36 subscribers, and when I started applying all of the lessons learned from the course, I pretty quickly grew to 100 subscribers, then 200, 500, then 1,000, and then Abdaal released this new course, the Creatorpreneur course. And to be honest, I thought that I really shouldn't be buying another course. I thought I should just focus on creating videos and implementing the things that I learned, but then I just couldn't help myself and bought it anyway. So the course is targeted towards all kinds of creators, including YouTubers, podcasters, vloggers, and all other types of creators. But creators who are already producing regularly and are already making at least a little bit of money. Now, I actually did not make any money yet, and I also was not really managing to produce content regularly. So I was trying to make a video every week, but then it ended up being every 2 to 4 weeks. I didn't have any income sources from YouTube, but I knew it was really time for me to figure out how to produce regularly and how to make money so I can outsource some of the work to then produce more regularly. It's like this vicious cycle where you need to make money so that you can hire someone to then make more videos, but you don't have enough time to make more videos so that you can make money. So you're growing more slowly than you could. And I wanted to break out of that. And I thought this course could really help me how to do that. And one other sneaky reason why I bought the Creatorpreneur course is as research. The same way that I consider watching YouTube videos research for my channel. I would actually love to create a business course for engineers one day. Since I'm super passionate about business knowledge, I can't stop talking about it, and I figured that taking different business classes myself would really help me identify what I like and dislike in other courses and how well their advice applies to engineering, and therefore how I can make the best possible class for engineers. The future will tell if that was a good excuse. Anyway, let's dive into how the course works. This is a recorded course where you pay once and then you have lifetime access to the content. Once you purchase it, this is what you're going to see. The course is divided into several modules, which I will talk about more in a bit, and then each module consists of several video lectures, and then you also have some exercises for each of them and some additional resources like books, articles, or videos that are a good addition to the classes. And then in addition to the content on this platform, they also provide a workbook in Notion where you have a summary of the course and all of the exercises are in there, so you can do them directly in Notion, which I did for example here. And there's also a list of all of the resources as well, which is nice for me since I work a lot with Notion anyway, so I can easily reference and search the course content. And I think all in all it's about 6 hours of video material plus a lot of time to do all of these exercises. I think it took me about 4 to 5 weeks to complete this course, with maybe 3 or 4 hours every week, just because I would constantly pause the video to take some notes, and I spent a lot of time doing the exercises and reflections. And then of course I was also reading a bunch of books that were recommended, but I'm not even counting that in the 3 to 4 hours. Now let's talk a little bit more about the structure of the course, the different modules. So as you can see in this overview here, the course consists of 3 different modules. So you have your workflow module, cash flow module, and outflow module, and then they're kind of separated into several lessons, and then at the end of it you become the perfect creatorpreneur. So creator plus entrepreneur. Now the workflow module is focused on kind of figuring out what are the kinds of things that you need to do and how can you best do them. So in the beginning you make a strategy for your business. For example, you figure out what is your niche, your target audience, and then you're supposed to list all of the tasks that you need to do, how much time you spend with them, and in what order you need to do them. And then you look into kind of how to systematize your business. So how can you build systems to make this more easy. Or for example, if you're creating a video every week, how much time are you spending with writing the script, with filming, with editing? And maybe can you instead do 4 videos in 4 weeks, so that you would maybe spend the first 1 or 2 weeks writing the scripts and then filming them all in one day and then editing them all in the remaining 2 weeks. And this way there's certain things that take less time, like setting up the camera, or even during editing it's much easier if you're kind of just doing the A-cut for each video, just one after another, and then you're giving yourself a little bit more time for the creative stuff. Or with the scripting, it's nice if you can kind of move between different scripts and progress them all, kind of switching between them, so that since this gives you more creative freedom, you feel less restricted, like I have to sit down and finish this one script now, like wait, maybe I have a good idea for this one, so I can progress this one a little bit and then work on this one. So I find that more enjoyable. So this is kind of the systems that you learn to build here. Then the second module is cash flow. This is focusing all about how can you make money. So what is the value that you can provide, where you can capture some of that value in the form of money, or what kind of products, what services even, and what sources of income can you build. So when it comes to YouTube, again, there's AdSense, but this is not really the focus. The focus of this course is mostly building your own product, since there you have the most ownership, the most control over how much you can make. So for example, you can offer coaching, you can offer courses, you can write an ebook, write an actual book, create templates that go well with your content, or you can put some of your content behind a paywall. There's a lot of different methods to monetizing your content without using the common methods that are dependent on other people's business, like affiliate links or sponsorships or AdSense. And then the third module is outflow, which is all about increasing the outflow, your productivity, if you will, as a business. So again, you look back at what are the tasks that need to be done, and maybe which of these can I outsource, can I hire people for. This can be either freelancers or even your own employees. And even if you're not really interested in outsourcing anything, I think this is really a good thing to think about and then consciously decide to do or not do, or at least to try out one. So I have been a little bit hesitant to outsource anything because I thought I would let go of some creative control, but I have now outsourced editing and I could not be more happy that I did this. It's changed everything for me. I can focus so much more on generating good ideas for videos and writing the scripts. So I really like that this course kind of gets you to think about this, and not even just the editing. I mean, I could even outsource the writing, or at least some of it, or get an assistant for some things. And the other part of it is also managing people. So the course also talks about that, how do you work with people, and even from like writing a good job description to onboarding them, to making them feel part of the team and tracking their progress, giving them feedback, all of these steps that are connected to that. That was really interesting, and that is the main 3 modules of the course. So now that you know what the course entails, let's talk about what I liked about the course. So the first thing I loved is that this course is all about books. So in each lecture, Ali Abdaal has some of the books that he's referring to on his desk. So let me just grab all the books that I have that were mentioned in this course. So I thought it was really cool that Ali always talks about which books have kind of formed each lesson, and then what you can go read to go deeper into that, since I had already read a lot of these books, and then others I was reading during the course, like Oversubscribe, which has a lot of marketing lessons and even something about sales and operations. So I was reading this, and then I was doing some exercises in the course, and it kind of worked really well together for me to get me to think about the books in more detail that I wouldn't have otherwise, and understand how to apply them to my business. And yeah, I've never experienced this before, like reading and then kind of always being sure that it would be referenced again in something else I'm doing. And it also helped me to kind of bring all of these books together in my head to develop like an understanding how all of these can fit into my business all together. And dang, did it also motivate me to read. I was reading a lot during that course. I was reading like a book a week, sometimes more. And my favorite books that I would probably recommend are The Minimalist Entrepreneur. Highly recommend this book, and it's a great starting point kind of to get an overview over how to start a minimalist business, meaning you don't put a lot of money into it and not even necessarily a lot of time, or not, you know, the stereotypical 100 hours a week. So I really like that one. Great starting point for getting business knowledge. Then next I would read Oversubscribe. So this one, like I said, is about marketing and how to create a hype around your product. It's amazing for any creator, I think. Highly recommend, especially for learning how to build your own products and then sell them in a way that is natural and that is making other people want them so much that they're always sold out. Then I would read The E-Myth Revisited, which is another amazing book. It's mostly about operations and how to structure your business, how to manage your business in a good way, how to make it franchisable, which means that you are building a good system and you can just kind of copy and paste that without it depending so much on you and you doing all the jobs at once. And the final book I would recommend is Traction. This one is very kind of advanced, so I wouldn't start with this one, but it has a lot of the exercises that were part of the course. So if you don't want to buy the course, you can also do the exercises here. Really recommend this one if you are already running a business, especially if you have some people in it, then it's really essential. And if you're a creator just starting out, then I would recommend to read these two books, Show Your Work and Steal Like an Artist. And now I also really want to talk about my favorite part of the course, which was actually the bonus lesson called Get Into Coaching by Hassan Kuba. So Hassan Kuba is Ali Abdaal's coach, and he's also the author of the book The Unfair Advantage, which I haven't read yet, but I definitely want to, since I've heard great things. And he also has his own YouTube channel. And like I said before, I think it's time for me to monetize my creator business. And one way I'm thinking of doing that is through coaching. And in his bonus lesson, Hassan Kuba talks about how to get started with coaching, since he's himself a coach, and in general, how you can monetize as a small channel and why coaching is such a great way to do that. And then also how you can kind of adapt your business to grow as your audience grows. So you might want to start out with coaching when you have a smaller audience and you can really focus on a couple of people, and also you need to offer a higher value product so that you can actually make it profitable. And then as your audience grows, you might want to move from one-on-one coaching to maybe group coaching, and maybe to live cohort course, a recorded course, also some lower value products like ebooks that really only become profitable once you have a large enough audience so that you can sell them at high volumes. So essentially in this model, you move from providing a lot of value to very few people to providing little value to a lot of people. But you can still, of course, keep doing both. There's not really anything stopping you from that. So now let's talk about what I didn't like about the course. So there's mainly two things. So the first small point of criticism I have about the course is that it is still a work in progress, or at least it was when I was taking it about 2 months ago. So maybe they've already updated some things, but basically it was, super new, and some of the things they mentioned they would link down below weren't exactly linked down below. And also there's supposed to be a Discord community, which I was really excited about, and I thought it would have been really nice to be able to exchange my thoughts with other people during the course while I was doing it. And this one was unfortunately not yet ready. I did message them and ask them about it, and they told me that this was still work in progress and that it would be coming out soon, probably like this or next month. So hopefully then this will be the case. And next time I take the course, which I will definitely do, I think I'm gonna do it like every year or something now, then I can benefit from that as well. And the other thing I was missing from the course is more hard business knowledge. I think it would have been really good to explain some basic accounting in the cash flow module. I know that this course is targeted towards creators, and there's this common sentiment among creators that you don't want to get too involved, that it will all work out and you'll just hire an accountant if you need to, or even that you shouldn't think too much about the numbers because it's a passion project and that will somehow take away from that. And even though this course does debunk that a little bit and help to push you in the business direction, or at least allow you to think of it both as a passion project and as a business, and I think it even talks about that you do this or make this into a profitable business. And even though this course does work to debunk that a little bit, so it does talk about the different ways of making an income, but it's not telling you to calculate your profit, for example. And I just feel very strongly that if you have a business, you should know your numbers in and out, and a business class should probably address that. So things like keeping track of your expenses and of your income, and figuring out how much income you need to make to turn a profit, what a profit is, and then maybe some basic tax understanding. Like in most countries, if you have a business and you have expenses, then you can first subtract the expenses from your income, and then you pay taxes on whatever is left over, which is your profit. Instead of, if you don't have a business, then unfortunately you have to pay taxes on all of your income, whether or not you have some expenses to get that income. So I wish it had kind of told us to, register a business for our YouTube channel and how to do these basic calculations. All right, so these are the two things I maybe didn't like so much about the course. Now let's talk about whether this course is worth it. So like I said, the course costs $799, which is quite pricey. I did get it for a bit of a discount since I was a member of PTYA and we got a discount code, so I had to only pay $693. And the way I see it, is all of the results that came from me out of this course. So since the course, I have all of these books. I have hired an editor, which means that I'm now able to produce weekly videos and use the new free time to work on other business projects. I have set myself the deadline to become profitable as a business by the end of this year, so the end of 2022, or otherwise I have to go back to editing myself, which I definitely don't want, so I'm highly motivated to make this happen. I've also become eligible to apply for the YouTube partnership program, and I'm right now waiting for my application to process, so hopefully by the time this video goes live I will be monetized. And I've also started to define a coaching offer, which is going to launch before this video goes live, and I'm also working on building some form of engineering community, so stay tuned for that. And I think that without taking this course I would not have read all of these books and understood them to the level that I did. Without that understanding from the books and these kind of pushes towards hiring someone, I would not have hired an editor, and I would not have the time I have now to focus on other things and get more creatively involved in the videos. I would definitely not have hired an editor before making any money from YouTube and had this confidence that I can make it profitable and have like a clear plan towards that. And I know that I just had to make this decision. I had to start with one thing so that I can monetize faster and make more videos and grow. Instead, I would probably still be struggling with making 2 to 4 videos a month, and I would not have time to work on anything else. I probably wouldn't even be treating this as a business at all, I think. So for these reasons, it was worth it for me. But I will say that you should not take this course if you haven't already been creating for a while, and if you're not ready to treat it like a business, because that's how you make those $800 worth it, by building this into a business and then making back those $800 and then some. Also, probably just start with the books that I recommended, because they have a lot of the knowledge, and also I think the course is just so much more fun and interesting if you do have that kind of foundation from the books that is referenced all the time, and you can pick up on that and kind of connect everything in your head. And so if you read those books and you still want more, then I recommend taking the course. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you in my next video.